Hi, I'm John DeBella, and this is your Classic Rock Update. And we start out with great news. Steely Dan's going back out on the road. First tour since 2009. They're billing themselves as, and I've got to read this, the Steely Dan Jazz Rock Ambassadors to the Galaxy with the Miles High Big Band and the Embassy Brats on what they're calling their Shuttle Diplomacy Tour. The tour starts in July in Oklahoma. We should see them in these parts probably by fall.
And I gotta tell you, it gave me chills when I walked in this little teeny studio and there was an X where Elvis stood to sing to make sure that his vocals sounded a certain way, and there was an X over there and an X over there. That's where the guitar player stood, and that's where the bass player stood.
The John Mellencamp documentary, It's About You, which is about him, is going to debut at the South by Southwest Film Festival next week. Now, it was shot completely on Super 8 during his 2009 tour with Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan. A lot of really great insight here, him as you saw in the Sun Studios and him traveling around. And if you saw John's show last week at the Academy of Music, this was the opening act. He's using it everywhere as the opening act. It's a lot cheaper. Well, here's a Steven Tyler story that's different. He's not getting put down by Joe Perry. This time it's Meatloaf. Meatloaf actually went out and said that he doesn't like the idea that a singer as great as Steven Tyler is on American Idol. He doesn't believe he should be a judge. To quote him exactly, "I love Steven, but I don't want to see him on American Idol. I just don't." This is coming from a man who is presently on Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump. Meat, maybe you should have kept the words in your mouth. But speaking of Steven Tyler, in addition to writing songs for Aerosmith, he's been writing songs for his own solo album. The first single, It Feels So Good, Oxygen, we should be hearing any day now. It's all setting up for his autobiography, which is called Does the Noise in My Head Bother You? New York has its fair share of parades, but one celebrating the career of Phil Collins? Well, that's exactly what took place last week in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. More than 250 of his fans were carrying signs with lyrics. There was a float with a 6-foot papier-mâché Phil Collins head on top. And, of course, how could you have a good parade without a good Phil Collins impersonator on top of a minivan? According to the organizers, they needed to set a day aside to love Phil that much more. And people thought the Louie Louie parade was weird. What does this amp, this guitar, and this suit have in common? Well, they all belong to this guy. It's coming around once again, the Eric Clapton Guitar Auction. This year with not only stuff from Eric, but stuff that has been donated from other friends. That's going to happen in New York. You can check it out online. It's Bonhams and Butterfields. Just go to the site and you'll see everything there is to offer. You can even bid online as well, but make sure you put your bids in by March 9th. All of the details are there, and I got to tell you, there is some incredible stuff. This is the first time that there have been amps included, but there's Clapton guitars, Clapton amps, Clapton everything.
You got that look on your face. You like to be in the race. You cannot hide your disgrace. You leave without a trace.
Okay, I'll admit it. If you're a regular viewer of Classic Rock Update, you know I've been goofing on the Cars album for, well, a few months now. But the more I hear it, the more I actually like it. Now, Rick Ocasek says that it's not a reunion, it's a conjunction, whatever that means. But he likes the idea of writing again, and he put these songs together, got the guys together, and, well, they're putting out an album. He also likes the idea of maybe doing a couple of dates, which is Rockstar talk for we're going out on tour. Now, we'll see the album called Move Like This on May 10th, and we'll see them probably sometime this fall. And that is your Classic Rock Update for this week. I'm John DeBella. I'll see you weekday mornings on the radio. Classic Rock 102.9 MGK.
You do, you say. They owe me a few, yeah. Blue, tip me a cue, yeah. You got that look on your face.
Grr.